afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only, Master of Propaganda. Off here to 1 vs 1 on Crossroads in the north, it's Monk, a rank 32 player, I believe from China. At least rank 32 with the Americans, fighting here with the Recon Support, forming up the 1st Infantry Division, hold the lines of the Germans under Jimmy Fight forwards, here with Osttruppen Doctrine, forming up a hastily assembled Kampfgruppe, the Kampfgruppe Wolf, with Osttruppen and MG42 noting no infantry company. He's obviously not worried about any light vehicles, which is the only reason you're initially going for that, since you didn't have access to Panzerfaust rapidly. But obviously, again, no light vehicles means no immediate need for Panzerfaust, and as soon as he hits tier 2 with a light mechanized company, he's going to get Panzerfaust anyway, so again, sort of going to work out itself out. And meanwhile, he can just use the Osttruppen to swiftly hit the field. I would say Osttruppen as the Americans tend to be a bit rarer, but it's not impossible. You usually see Osttruppen as the British, since they can sort of help pick up the slack better there, but as the Americans, it's a bit of an interesting choice. In particular with Recon Support and the Pathfinders, they can possibly pop some Osttruppens pretty fast. We'll have to see. In the south there, we can see there that Monk is all rushed for the eastern field point first, which of course means Jimmy might need to sort of switch up his tactics. It's also meaning westwards with the infantry, so it's hard to say there what Jimmy's trying to look at. Is he trying to hit for the western field point now, or is he going to go for the eastern later down the road? Meanwhile, Monk is digging in there. No, he's also, there we go, got more infantry. I was about to say he's not really going for a lot of infantry, so the question was, is he going for a faster turned captain here? Triple Osttruppen, 1 MG42. They will probably see 4 Osttruppen, since that tends to be, shall we say, the normal build here. With Osttruppen, you get 4 of them, and then you sort of just hit hard, at least as hard as you possibly can. In the south, you got Pioneers versus Re-echelons. Sort of drawing them out. Osttruppen from solid sides. Of course, Osttruppen can now flank behind, occupy the positions around the field point, and then deny the Re-echelons any easy positions. In the west center, MG42 Osttruppen holding up here, forming up a strong point. It's going to make it hard for Monk to move from the west towards the east to back up the Re-echelons, who apparently aren't paying attention to the Osttruppen at all. They just sort of, there seems to be some bussing going about. Seems like some very aggressive bees this time of year. But of course, now the Osttruppen are starting to hit. Though, of course, Osttruppen outside of cover really can't hit the broadside of a barn whatsoever. Nope, some of this actually slightly reflects how, that's a fun fact, how the Osttruppen sort of, were sort of thought of. They were basically sort of, in the German army, there were sort of like grades of infantry units and sort of what they were expected to do. And Osttruppen usually sort of graded like second lowest. The lowest were basically, they weren't useful for combat at all, by the way. But second was basically, they could be expected to hold prepared positions, and that was it. That's sort of how, the Osttruppen sort of reflect when, being only useful in cover. Like, they can hold in a prepared position, and that's it. We got Tech up there, though, here. And actually, he actually only stuck to 3 Osttruppen. He would have defeated 4, but apparently Jimmy here is feeling bold, courageous, brave even. Monk here taking up, got the platoon command post up there with the lieutenant on the way. Secured the eastern field, though, of course, Monk is controlling most of the map, which, of course, on Crossroads is particularly dangerous since it's an overall larger map. More Pioneers for Jimmy, probably to help, with the repairs, but also just build up stuff, so he can keep the other Pioneer squad at the front line. Need to get the Pioneers out of there, though, since they are up against 2 units. That's not really good for the Pioneers, not without support. At the same time, though, Monk keeps trying to pressure here Jimmy's calf point. Very good play there by Monk. Certainly better than just attacking into the Osttruppen in some cases. But we can see here, though, he's not reacting to Jimmy just harassing his point in return. I'll really like to make a nice company up. It's probably going to be a 2-2 or flank for a half track. Monk's lieutenants are probably about to hit, and then we'll probably be seeing a other M20 on Stuart Light taking out fast here. Oh, they got the lieutenant out. Mechanized command upgrade there. And again, due to the low infantry count, though, I mean, he's just basically moving about with the Osttruppen larger than opposed. As Monk is just trying to use what infantry he has to sort of disrupt Jimmy's resource lines. So there's certainly some interesting plays going on in both sides. Though both Pioneers good to go now. Ambulance following up there for Monk and the 1st Infantry, as the Kampfgruppe Wolf continues the assault. Note, Kampfgruppe could denote a few things, but usually it's sort of an assembled battle group, sort of a different sort of elements sort of used to throw at the enemy. But it could also actually refer to a division that's just been depleted to a certain strength, where it's just, not really a division, but it's still, basically just named a Kampfgruppe, but then still had a division name, just to highlight, it wasn't very strong anymore. Like you had, for example, that happened during Operation Market Garden, when the 9th and 10th SS Panzer divisions were there, but again, both of them were at such depleted strength they were basically sort of called Kampfgruppen. Sandbags up here, aggressive work there. We got the M20 on there for Monk. M20s definitely seem to be catching on more and more with the Americans as of late. Usually they weren't like a big part of the meta, but now there's a lot more M20 play about here. Osttruppen here versus the Lieutenant. Lieutenant, of course, with the Thompson up close, is doing some heavy damage to the Osttruppen. The Osttruppen going to have to fall back pretty fast. Seizing the Eastern Field, putting in with the Osttruppen again. Sandbags up as well. MD42 covering the centre. Pioneer moving in. Back here, nothing further going there for Jenny. Some Pentagon ideas could be a good idea, though. Of course, the artillery field officer could also be an idea. We'll have to see what ends up with here for Jimmy and Germany. M20 the hit for the rescue with its 50 caliber and armor sergeants there being added as well. And we got the 222, like the Panzer Speerwagen on the way there for Jimmy. Also, there's an advancing rifle squad there. Kar-98 casing out, but not very accurately. Bit off tune. Rifleman cutting through the Osttruppen in the east, and in the centre there, M20 going for the MG42. Hang on, gotta restrain Basil a bit before he starts playing the things he's not supposed to. Usually the wires hang about. Hang on, there you go. He can be a bit of a scamp at times. MG42, they're holding up against the Americans as much as possible. We got Panzergrenadier out there. Good choice here for Jimmy. Some slightly more hardened infantry there with the Sturmgewehr 44. Also known as the MP44. The official name was the Sturmgewehr 44, but like there was no actual difference between that and the MP44. Like there's just a naming difference made by the Führer to make it sound more impressive. 2-2 going for the M20, quickly popping out there, nice play there by Monk, quick response, he can still destroy it, but there's a good chance now of actually losing the 2-2 here, which of course will be pretty good for Monk, and get rid of that 2-2. Jimmy there trying to hold it away, and it goes down, and the M20 is alive, nice save there by Monk. It was a bit of a risky gamble there by Jamie, in this case though did not pan out. And now Basil's attacking my right arm, the cheeky little bastard. Punches moving in there, whoops, ow! Cat just jumped out on my shoulders, knocking off my headset a bit. My apologies. M20 rounding the Panzer quite nicely, taking 2 on the way there for Jimmy. Also engaging here on the right side. Back here, second 2 almost done. Troops in reinforcing there for Jimmy and for the Kampfgruppe Wolf. Alright, and engaging the Osttruppen, doing their best. Osttruppen will lose out, I think. But they might just be able to buy some time for Jimmy to do something else. I mean, overall, Monk has been able to control the fuel point quite aggressively there versus his opponent, and then who knows, might try and pull that into some faster tech there. But so it's weapon racks then. Basil just seems meowing about there. My apologies. 2-2 striking at more vulnerable and less equipped targets. We also got Telemines down there. Good spot, though. Of course, he needs to be careful not to set them off. Well, theoretically, you can bait the Pathfinders onto the Telemine and then Destiny. That'd be great. And there you go. 50 cover Johnny's going to hold through that 2-2. And these got Austin pushing forwards there with Pioneer support. Armor Pierce runs up as well there, but the 2-2 is going to escape. And Pantherhouse there on the M20. Sadly, no intending Armor Pierce runs here on the MD42 to finish it off with. Otherwise, he could have done that quite nicely. And with the smoke, there's going to be taking a bit of while, and the smoke could theoretically lift in the meanwhile. Going for the cop on again, though. Nice play there. Right and route him. And overall, Jimmy, though, is doing reasonably well with the Ostrom. They're certainly also showing some of their weaknesses here to say again, since Monk is just a little more flexible as infantry and able to more easily move about, whereas again the Ostrom are much more reliant on cover, which of course makes it much more necessary to prepare a lot more sandbag positions to use them more effectively. He wants to use the maximum. We go 50 cover setting up here, gonna go for the Pioneers there, obviously gonna send them packing. Got an airdrop group in there from Monk. It's gonna mean of course paratroopers and the pack howitzer, which is gonna pretty much mean that this position is no good for Jimmy, since that's going to be within easy range of the pack howitzer within Monk's space. So he's going to pull back the MG42. He's going to risk losing it, which is, I imagine, not something Jimmy's keen on. Paratroopers popping down. I guess light machine guns, but of course could equip them with bazookas. There's nothing preventing from doing that, but light machine guns would seem like the all-natural choice, and particularly since the Ostrom would absolutely melt in the face of paratroopers with light machine guns. Jamie there, of course, striking with fuel. That does mean he's going to be behind in terms of tech. He's not going to push for any sort of reasonably paced support armor core. He might even have to go here for the supply drop, which I mean isn't too bad. Machine guns, extra fuel and munitions, and the Pack 40 are all good investments. But, I mean, in that case, he probably should just cancel that Pack 40 and just call it in. I mean, that overall will be cheaper for him. I mean, he'd just get a much better deal on that. But I guess he might not be planning that after all. We got more telemines down here though. That's actually good there by Jamie. More telemines are good. Certainly some players I feel like for the moment tend to neglect telemines. Hell, I forget it at times, but again, telemines can be an incredibly good investment. Returning charge from the Osttruppen. Clearly not too concerned here. The Osttruppen are doing some damage though, cutting down one poor sap, but the problem is the lieutenant's still alarmed with his Thompson once up close. That'll quickly tear through the Osttruppen. Like a dog through a pair of slippers. 2-2 are going for the paratroopers though. No upgrade there. We've got riflemen with the anti-tank riflemen. That's going to quickly tear apart the 2-2 there. And yup, too slow to get out of there. Might be able to escape with it nonetheless, which is going to be a bit lucky here. Troops here, reinforcing healing. No take up yet there for Jimmy. And Monk's Eastern Assault that continues with Jimmy unable to offer really much resistance as his forces are a bit scattered across the map here. MU-42's been pushed away already. Got Incendiarmor piercing rounds up, but again, pack cards and fires making this much more hazardous, and the M20 is already zipping away, so not looking good there for Jimmy. Need to get it out of there. Well, he can take it up now. He wants to, but the question is, does he want to? And I mean, even if he takes up now, he's not going to be able to do anything with it right away. So I mean, obviously there's a limit to how much he can do with it anyways. For now, troops healing, forcing another push there by Jamie. And he does take up, no, cancels it for another MD4 to resolve the infantry. Not a bad idea, not a bad idea. The part of me might think actually back to the spawn infantry company and the mortar might serve nicely as well, but there we are. But he definitely needs to put some effort in defending the fuel point, at least trying to hit the other fuel point a bit more. Monk, in the meanwhile, is taking up. He's moving for the major. So he's definitely going to be able to push out, I think, tanks a bit faster in particular since he's getting 39. And Jimmy's at 19. I mean, that's pretty much like 2 times as much fuel here as his opponent. So that's a bit of a problem there for Jimmy. That's a bit of a problem for Jimmy. Pioneers went up there, flaming away there at the 50 caliber position, scorching the house and all its occupants. Almost got it though, close one. I mean, if you could have wiped the 50 caliber there, that would have been huge for Jim, and certainly a bit of a blow there to Monk, but Monk was able to get away there. Oh, it's understandable was down here trying to pop up the grenade there, but he was way too quick there, way too early. Bit unfortunate there, but hopefully he's learned a lesson there at least. You know, there's a thing is way too early for a grenade to be popped into the retreat path. MD4 sitting up here rather aggressively, but also quite exposed, and of course the pack cards is very much something he needs to be mindful of. There you go, Lieutenant switching up behind, he's going to push that back to the 2 moving in. Ooh, that's really bad there for Jamie, really bad. Second MD42 could support, but still that was not the best MD42 setup there. In the east side, he's made good progress against sort of trying to cut off the territory right next to Monk's base, and of course force him to sort of consider that, noting no upgrade on the paratroopers yet, as they does have the munitions. Panzer moving forwards close to Veterans 1, and of course Veterans 1 next to the 2-2 would make the Panther Grenadiers much more formidable, since they can horse move fast, but also be harder to kill for them. There you go, but the 2-2 is no longer nearby, so quite looking out there. Osttruppen pulling westwards, and these Pioneers pushing back. There we go, bundle grenade. Blew up one of their own, but took out the rifle squad. That's actually pretty good there. That's pretty good. That does mean he actually enjoys that infantry advantage numerically, I think, over here, Monk, and that's going to be quite helpful for Jimmy. Even if, like, most of his infantry is Osttruppen, he can count on them, but, you know, not that much. Another drop in there for Monk. Wow. That's going to mean 2 pack houses, but also 2 paratrooper squads. Still, double pack houses are going to be absolutely a nightmare there for Jimmy. It's not necessarily something that I recommend under all circumstances, but double pack houses can be absolutely a nightmare for infantry and support weapons. Plus, of course, you've got double paratroopers, which, you know, is also going to be a bit of a bad dream. And there you go, finally take up there for Jimmy. He's stabilised the situation a bit here versus Monk. Again, getting rid of that rifle squad, I think, has helped a tad. And there you go, second pack howitzer. That's going to be a bit of an artillery battery there for Monk, and that's going to be a bit of a headache for Jimmy. Pioneers are into the 5th Cavalry, got the 2 moving on the flanking the 50 Cavalry there. In the east, Osttruppen routing the paratroopers. Valiantly so. Though I imagine the MG42 probably played a larger role in that. Also, fun fact about the Osttruppen, they actually had their own medals, well, awards, but they could sort of gain some smaller ways like that. I think they had like 3 medals or something like that, or again, awards. I can't quite remember more about than that. Like basically some badges they got sewn on the uniforms. So forward course are going to go up there for Jamie, so good. We're probably seeing Panther Force, the Panther Grenadiers, or Stutes will also work out. Or Austrians, I mean, either way, works quite well with the Panther Grenadiers, as we're trying to say there. Austrian members, the Rifleman closing in an ace level on the Osttruppen. Of course, again, double pack houses could spell problem for this position. Could spell a very big problem, or for the Panther Grenadiers for that matter. Big push there with the paratroopers, noting course still not upgrades. I mean, it's not like paratroopers without upgrades are bad. Like in the M1 carbines they're using actually quite effective. But usually you'd expect at least 1 light machine gun upgrade for the paratroopers because it's really good. Paratroopers they're routed. I mean, I'm surprised he's not trying to move on the west. I mean, he'd probably have more success just making a big push to sort of sneak up through here instead of just attacking into here where Jimmy's a bit more ready for it. That's just me. Shown on the way there for Monk, and Jimmy's got the Pack 40. He can actually go for the Panther 4, but he's going for another Panther Grenadier squad first. I think you should go for the Panther 4 before another Panther Grenadier squad, but like, you know. It could be he's planning Panther Shreks, though again, Panther 4 would do the job just as well in some ways, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what ends up here with Jimmy. Paratroopers there reinforcing healing. Still no sign of Browning light machine guns there for Monk. Bessel coming about meowing again. My apologies there. MG42 dealing with the troops in the centre here since being suppressed by heavy automated fire. Now someone trying to move up here, but the 5th Cavalry plus rocking on the way. Stopping Jimmy and the comfortable road assault. Dead in his tracks. And of course, double pack house with the MG42 is really bad news for the MG42. Particularly decides to barrage, but he doesn't. Still. Close shave there for the MG42. That wall crumbled right before them and they were already low on health. In the east, the MG42 holding up paratrooper assault. Incendiary piston rounds being unleashed as well there. Taking into the paratroopers. Vessels. Be quiet. Moving up, MG42 being routed with a Sherman. We'll have to get the Pack 40 in there and we'll have to take enemies playing Panther Shreks, and that is exactly what Jimmy's doing. Osttruppen in the west, overwhelmed by Monk's counter-attack here. Panzerjäger's almost down there for Jimmy. And until I find the MG42, almost forcing away there. Panzerjäger's almost done. Oh, that's a bit of a bad house to pop into now. Also note that while the Panzer Grenadiers themselves say, they aren't technically supposed to fire from sides, technically they actually could, but it required you basically pretty much through all the furniture, open all the windows and the doors and knock down walls because I should be killed by the back there, but it could be done. Like, it's the same thing with the Panzerfaust. It could be fired from inside a house, but you had to prepare the building quite a lot or you would get yourself killed. Panzer there. With Osttruppen supporting with paratroopers. In this case, it's pretty much the Pentagon's doing all the work since the Osttruppen out in the open. They're not going to be doing anything except just draw fire by looking slightly more numerous. 7 kills there, 4 kills already. Those pack guys are doing quite a bit of work then, Jimmy. Quite a bit of work. 300 points left there for Monk versus 436 there for Jimmy. In the east point, they're being seized by the paratroopers, once more denying Jimmy precious fuel. Taking for it. Style Packhouse landing down. There you go. Pan's going to take a staggering loss, dropping a Pantrick as well. Though the Osttruppen now suddenly find themselves as Panzerjäger's artillery calling over the major here. Further damage here, but another unit is lost by Monk. Calling in a Pathfinder squad there. He needs to be a bit more mindful of the infantry. Again, he's very much focusing heavily on this path. Again, he doesn't seem to very much be keen on this move, which again makes it easy for Jimmy to prepare his guns. I mean, Monk, I feel like, is repeating his usual tactics a bit too much, which again is allowing Jimmy to, more easily counter them, which is, a bit dangerous. Unless you're the Germans, in which case it's very safe. But you're not looking to make it safe for the Germans, unless you're the Germans, and Monk is not playing as the Germans last I checked. Also, they're falling back. And there you go, Panzer on the way there for Jimmy and Deutschland. Pioneer stealing with riflemen. Sherman there almost fixed up here for Monk. Also worth noting, Monk has no anti-tank weapons at the moment. He doesn't have bazookas because his Renaissance bazooka team got annihilated. So in that regard, he's in a bit of a sticky spot. Because once the Panzer IV then hits, I mean, he's got the Sherman, obviously, but they're still going to be pretty close. And the problem is, of course, in that regard, Jimmy's got Pax and Panzerschrecks to back up his Panzer IV. Monk's got Zip to back up his Sherman. Oh, there you go. We got another Sherman away. That's only going to help a bunch. Moving up here with Osttruppen, including the Panzerjäger Osttruppen. Also, of course, got numerous telemines down here and there. Then we also got mines down from Monk. That's very nice. But the paratroopers have been laying those down. Since these paratrooper support squads called in by Recon Support can actually lay down mines. Little fun fact there. And we're Sherman, they're dealing with infantry without the Panther, they're flying through. Panzerschrecks also flying here at the Sherman tank, causing Monk's Sherman to have to back off a bit. Also under fire from the pack howitzers. We got 12 and we got 4 kills there. Second Sherman out for Monk. And the first infantry. More pack howitzer fire here. Fighting for the west side here. MD4 to the suppressing the troops. He could try and get the pack house to bombard it, but oh, there we go. It's finally beginning to use the barrage abilities. But you've been wondering why he's been using that one as much since again. It is pretty good. It is pretty good. And MD4 under fire here. Panther 4 being assaulted by the Shermans. Sherman's got the Panther 4 down to half health. The one Sherman is also down to half health there. Ooh, main gun out. Pack 40 is moving in, but he can smoke it. And so you got the Panzer 4. Oh, he's calling in artillery directly? Oh, he's calling in the cluster bombs. Does work there, does take out the Pack 40, but yeah, Telemine's up on the flank there. He shouldn't have pushed in so far. Still when the Shermans are already in a poor condition. And without aim support, I definitely feel like that was a bad call there by Monk. Otherwise, there's a... Oh, got lucky there. Pack howitzer took out the pack. And he's destroying it. They really should get some infantry forwards there. And he needs to get the Shermans out there fast. I mean, they're still incredibly low on health. One Panzer first, and those Shermans are going to be on fire. Or, Panzerschreck. So in this regard, I definitely feel like he pushed his luck a bit much there. Even like, he took out the pack crew. And did get the Panzer IV. It'd obviously be preferable if he didn't lose his Sherman in the process. And there got another telemine down. One Sherman is still alive, but the question is for how much longer? It just requires one lucky hit from the Panzer Grenadiers to take it out of the Panzerjägers. Holy smokes, miss again, miss again. Lieutenant moving up there toes them down. Looks like the Sherman does escape. The one with the least amount of health actually survived. Not the most one with the most because, it hit a bloody telemine. There we go, machine gun down as well. Jimmy is taking staggering losses. His forces are being torn apart here like lambs by rabid wolves. Good lord, that was brutal. I mean, it was in some ways a good flank, though. Again, I feel like he pushed to find the end. They'd still end up doing a lot of damage, and now Jimmy's also lost his Pack 40. I mean, he's down to actually now Panzerschrecks. He upgraded both of his Panzer squads with them. I feel like that's a tad overkill. I can feel like at least one of them should be an upgrade to help deal with infantry better, but that's just me. I guess he's certainly equipped for taking on armor nonetheless. Second Panzer IV out there here for Jimmy and the Comfortable Wolf. Monk then needs to sort of try and grab more charge. I mean, he's got plenty of forces, so, you know, he can do it, but he needs to be a bit more speedy about it. Need to get those paratroopers back, though. And, of course, if he could get them upgraded, that would also be very good for Monk. I mean, I'm surprised I haven't seen any light machine guns. Honey is swapped out. Jimmy is just further getting trounced here. Oh, Scheiße! He got caught repairing the Sherman. His crew is dead. Jimmy's got nothing about to repair, so he's just going to destroy it. What a shame. I guess a bit of luck there for Monk. He just destroys it rather than steal it, because that'd be really bad for Monk. But that's a nice route there. I mean, in this case, you obviously used Sherman to grab the point, and that, of course, signaled Jimmy where it was. So, I mean, Monk there could have been a bit more cautious there. Either way, though, that's a big win there for Jimmy. That is a massive win. Monk's going to have to work a bit hard there to turn that around again. And now he's down to just, well, no anti-tank whatsoever, since again, unlike Jimmy, he's got no bazookas, he's got no Panzer, he's got no anti-tank guns. And both of his pack houses just went down into the Panther 4. Panther 4 going for the 5th car, that's going to have to retreat there. He's going to have to equip some bazookas out and hope for the best. Or he's going to have to tech for the captain and call in some anti-tank guns. I mean, it's either that or he equips or upgrades some of his paratroopers with the bazookas as well. I mean, but something needs to happen here for Monk. Something needs to happen. Meanwhile, Jimmy's just digging in harder. Very good. Jimmy, meanwhile, is taking up. They're going for tier 4. Pack counter destroyed. Pack 4 landing a nice hit on the Panther 4. Well, he did actually have one anti-tank, and that's silly me there, of course. But there you go, Panther 4 down to half health. Monk gaining a bit of breathing space there thanks to the Pack 40 he liberated from Jimmy's clammy Nazi hands. And the West got Lieutenant backed up with the paratroop going here for the Panther. There you go, bomb grenade up, Lieutenant. Almost wiped, but he managed to survive. Well, one of his men managed to survive, the rest are dead. Torn apart by the bomb grenade, the geballte Ladung. And these Pathfinders, 50 coming up, looking to find a path. We got more sandbags in the centre here from Jimmy, very good. Panther 4 on a rush job here to the west. Prepare to immediately suffer a minor casualty for the Panther 4. More casualties are following up as the Panther 4 strikes. Like a furious blacksmith. It strikes while the iron is hot. And the Yankees are dying. Back here, troops reinforcing there for Jimmy. Sherman on the way there for Monk. Another M4A3. 200 points left here for Monk. But also the Sherman really just undermined him. Again, I think had he just not pushed to find, he'd probably have 2 Shermans left. And again, might have just had a little better chance there versus Jimmy, but you know, details. Pack hard to find line there on the machine gun crews. Sherman almost done there for Monk. Of course, with tier 4, Jimmy can upgrade his Osttruppen with light machine guns. He can also go for the heavy Panzer Corps, maybe go for a Panther or a Sturmpanzer. But I do like that he's actually sandbagging even this late into the game. I mean, most players will forget about after the few first minutes, but Jimmy is consistent sandbagging to prepare the battlefield ahead of time against his opponent. Very good work there, very good work. Pathfinder sneaking up. He might, of course, get something down in the fuel point as well, in the victory point. Machine gun on the west side, about to get hit with a Panther 4 and some supporting infantry. Parents in the centre might want to pop a grenade there to flush out the Osttruppen. There you go. Machine gun wiping a single devastating hit there from the Panther 4. Pack 40 moving in, but it is exposed. We got the Panzerjägers on the move. Grenade on the paratroopers. Monk seems to be starting here with the rapid pace of Jimmy's maneuvers. There you go. Paratrooper squad wiped out. We do finally have one squad to upgrade. He's finally able to sort of build up the munitions, but losing one paratrooper squad in the process is not good there for Monk. It's still very bad. Panther 4 shooting, missing a bit there. Return hit there from the Pack 40. Got the Sherman moving up there for Monk and for Freedom. In the east here, Pathfinder's pinned down by the MD-42. We got another Panzer IV on the way there for Jimmy and the Kampfgruppe Wolf. Smoking down here from the Shem to line up for an assault there. Also push the machine gun out. I think they go on in Monk space.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
50 cal retreats as well. As soon as the retreat path is possibly threatening him, Monk just retreats rather than trying to stick it out and hope he gets lucky and his opponent does something dumb. Showing in with paratroops going to flash out the west here. We got ME4 setting up again. He might have to smoke it again, because otherwise it's going to separate the infantry from the armor here, which is usually not good. There you go, Panzer IV Storm machine gun rounded. Very good. Panzer IV, though, is moving in. Panzerjägers as well there. Good hit from the Pack 4 and the Panzer IV putting down to half health. Gewaltladung again. Pack shooting and narrowly missing the Panzer IV there. Shot bouncing off the Panzer IV's armor. 80mm of non-sloped. That is by 1944-45. Paratroops there being murdered, down to one man, but also ace level. And wiped. That's a significant blow there to Monk. Those were definitely his best infantry squad, and losing then eventually 3 paratroop squad with brown light machine guns is going to hurt Monk a lot. In particular now with Jimmy's just looking pretty strong, though I suppose thankfully for him. Oh, did he actually counter that tier 4? He did. Oh well. Did he ever go for it? Anyways, he still considered just for light machine guns. Germany is the Panzer IV trying to take it out there. It's going to hit bold there for Monk. Second Panzer IV's nearby, and he gets the Panzer IV, but again he can't afford to lose the tank in the process. Ah, he took the wrong turn there, right into the Panzerschrecks. He does get the Panzer IV, but the old situation for Monk is still, not good. He can't afford to, one-for-one trade. He needs to actually, gain the upper hand here against Jimmy. Even though the Sherman is cheaper, it's, still kind of expensive for him. Got the Greyhound out. Certainly a sign of desperation here from Monk. Another Panzer IV for Jimmy and the Kampfgruppe Wolf in the center machine gun. They're holding up nicely using the heavy cover there against Monk, and in the east also we're going for that eastern point again. The sandbags there, of course, proving us ever helpful. Graham flanking up there. 94 versus 412. You turn the east, they're successfully breaking through. .50 caliber out of here to the Greyhound. And you to work in the center of the machine gun, by the way, ace level has retreated, and we got raid tanks, allows the vehicles to grab territory. Then slightly, back up there, Monk, back up. There we go. 50 cover there's about to go wiped out the Panther and his machine gun combo. Another blow there to Monk and to the 1st Infantry. Greyhound's almost got the fuel points. Note their raid tax allows to seize points very fast, even fuel points. So, I mean, thumbs up there to Monk, but that's about it. Is really to give him a thumbs up for at the moment. Pen 4 going straight in for the Greyhound. Heavy fire there. Pack 40 being held up. Eventually 2-bar, but that's actually pretty good there for it. Nice hit there, the Panther 4. We got 84 though versus 412. Season Eastern fuel point. Finally got the captain now, so they'll probably use some anti-tank guns additionally, but it does feel like a rather late captain here for Monk. Rather late captain. And considering the circumstances, he probably better off with one much, much sooner. Machine gun punching is holding up here the center victory point. We got Pathfinders moving ahead. Sadly, not enough munitions for an artillery calling. I was being a pretty great here versus Jimmy's strong point there. Lieutenant suppress the lane 4-2 moving in there. Ace level, 13 kills. Greyhound moving up. They of course have to be careful about those Panzerjägers. Those 2 Panzerjägers should do some heavy damage here to it. Already half health though. And there we go, no health as 2 rockets just set it on fire. P-57 versus 412. Osttruppen on the right hand side just forming up a strong blocking position there for Jimmy. And there you go, GG, game over. Monk surrenders, loss here for America. Freedom, democracy, a victory for Germany. I mean, Monk had some good moves. Early game struggled a bit versus all the Osttruppen, but he was sort of early mid game there, sort of turning around. But the problem was then just Sherman push there, where you extended without support. Quickly cost them Shermans, of course. Jimmy's telemines, of course, proved to be incredibly valuable. Had it not been for those telemines, though, of course, Jimmy would have been in a much worse position. And of course, that's something that Monk should have kept in mind. I mean, most good Valorant players will lay down telemines, and that's always something you have to keep in mind, and that's probably one of Monk's bigger mistakes. That combined with some awkward unit preservation, just struggling to get his men upgraded, I feel like was also, contributing factor to losing in the long run here versus Jimmy. Did some good moves here and there, but again, some major mistakes with the Shermans, which denied him from getting up the overall upper hand versus Jimmy in terms of armor, and that proved to be crucial. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. You all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.